Next, there are some small changes to be made in these screens. Let's rename these screens with their relevant components with the relevant names for the remaining 4 phases of the star's life cycle. We use this screen 1 for the second phase of the star's life cycle, that is for massive star. First, I select screen 1 from the box showing components and rename this screen as massive star from the properties here. Let's type massive star here. Next, select the Stellar Nebula Info 1 label and rename it as MS Info. Also, select Canvas Stellar Nebula 1 and rename it as Canvas MS. Next, select Stage Stellar Nebula 1 and rename it as Stage MS. Next is the Sprite Stellar Nebula Type 1. I also select this sprite type and rename it to Image MS type. The sprite at the end called Sprite Stellar Nebula 1 is also renamed as Sprite MS. Okay, now we have renamed the components on the screen for massive star. Next is the screen 2. We use this screen 2 for the third phase of the star's life, that is for the red giant. First, I select screen 2 from the box showing components and rename this screen as red giant from the properties here. Let's type red giant here. Next, select the Stellar Nebula Info 2 label and rename it as RG Info. Also, select Canvas Stellar Nebula 2 and rename it as Canvas RG. Next, select Stage Stellar Nebula 2 and rename it as Stage RG. Next is the Sprite Stellar Nebula Type 2. I will select this sprite type and rename it as Sprite RG type. The sprite at the end called Sprite Stellar Nebula 2 is also renamed as Sprite RG. Okay, now we have renamed the components on the screen for red giant.